Today's video is for the realtors. If you're a realtor and you're like, how do I run an amazing pie event with these big pies? I'm gonna show you. I run a 5-star pie event. A great pie event will build goodwill, extend relationships, and strengthen them. It'll generate referrals, and it'll support your community. So your next year, your annual pie pickup might be your secret weapon. Stay tuned to find out all the step-by-step details. Hi, I'm Jamie Herring with the Herring Homes team and Coldwell Banker Realty, and I run a super successful team. But one thing I do so well is my annual pie event. So today I'm gonna give you step-by-step instructions so you can create your own pie event, which will generate referrals and pay for itself year after year. Here we go. So step one of a successful pie event is the prep work. So let's start. Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday. So I have my pickup date the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. That way we can finish loose ends on Monday and be ready to go to the store to pick up the pies on Tuesday. So knowing that date, I usually go back about 5 to 6 weeks in order to do step two, which is secure referral partners. So think of all the lenders, attorneys, home inspectors, title companies, photographers, videographers that you support. They only get business because you make that referral. They will be happy to offset the cost of the pies. They're not asking them to pay $1,500. If you have 5 sponsors or $1,500 worth of pies, it may be $200. But then you can include their name throughout the process so they really feel like that money is going somewhere. The third thing you have to do is source the pies. So I get my pies, they're giant. Literally, I can't even tell you how much this thing weighs. 4.5 pounds. Okay, it's a giant pie. I do apple pie and pumpkin pie. I get mine from Sam's Club. Costco is another really good option. When I first started this, like 8 years ago, I got like the tiny little pies that were like $3.99 at the grocery store. I don't feel like that wows anyone. Like, you wanna wow them. So I let them choose between an apple or a pumpkin pie. No one has ever complained about getting a 5-pound apple pie. I mean, that's insane. But I think apple pies are actually the most popular. I've done this for years, it tracks it. 70% of my client database gets the apple pie. I think that's because they have the pumpkin pie already on their table, and making a pumpkin pie is so much easier than an apple pie. So apple pie, plan for that. It's gonna cost a little bit more. This pie was like $11. The pumpkin pies are less, but if you only wanna offer pumpkin pie, then just do that. It's up to you. You get to control that part of the narrative and that part of your budget. So the next thing you wanna do is create the invitation. I put a QR code on the invitation because then I mail it to my entire database. So I use the service, I don't stamp them myself. I have a guy that does it. I send him the link, he downloads it, sends it to my database with a QR code. I also remind them about 2 things. So I tell them the pie pickup date, which was for us the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the hours that we're holding it. We actually hold it in 2 locations because we have an office in Grayslake, Illinois, which is my satellite office, but a lot of our clients are in Libertyville, Illinois. So we have about 15, 20 clients that would rather pick it up there. So this year we did pickup from noon until 6 p.m. in the Grayslake office, and then just 3 to 5 p.m. in the Libertyville office. So on that invite, you want to give them some directions. Here's what I do. They scan the QR code. I have a private Facebook group for all my clients, so I post the invitation in there without the QR code. I publicize it over and over and over again. I even do a video that I put on a private YouTube, so that way they can see the video that explains, hey, it's time for the pie event, and kind of a kickoff to get them excited about this event. And then we have new clients that don't even know what I'm talking about. So you have to educate them throughout the process. So what I do is on this QR code, they scan it, it'll take them to a Google form. And in that Google form, it'll say your name, your email, your phone number, and then it'll say, what type of pie do you want? Apple pie, pumpkin pie, and then I give a third choice, which is no pie, but I love you anyway. Sometimes people just want to let you know they appreciate it, but they're not going to order a pie. One year I ordered cookies, like handmade cookies from a baker. It just cost too much for me to do that. The price went up the next year, and so I did that one year, but now I just stick to pies. It was a little more complicated. So then the last question on there is, are you planning to move in 2026 or whatever the next year is? So there's 3 possible choices. Yes, we cannot wait to move. We're so excited. It's a maybe, depending what the rates do, our situation, and then a no, I'm never moving, but we love you anyway. So I want to make sure that my client base knows that I always want to know what their next step is. If they have a baby and they need a bigger house, they need to call me. Then I use those answers as a reason to call them throughout the year. So all through the month of November, you want to keep publicizing the pie event. I find that I get the biggest responses from the postcard that I send out at the end of October. So many people scan that QR code, and it's a nice way for them to get something from you in the mail. But you want to continue promoting it. Have the agents on your team, if you're a team leader, or have you, if you're a solo agent, text every person on your database. Text them, email them. I do a bulk email to everyone. I send that 2 or 3 times, but then we also call and text them to say, hey, we'd love to give you a pie. Did you get our invite? Do you want a pie this time? And that way they get so many personal touches, and it gives you a reason to contact them, because sometimes we know we have to make calls, but we don't know what to say. And you just don't want to call them and be like, hey, do you think you're going to move this year? It just gets boring and they're not going to answer your calls. But when you call and say, hey, I want to give you a free 4.5-pound apple pie, they're going to take your calls knowing that. So in the month before, you're going to continue promoting it. Then you're going to finalize the pie count. So I have my RSVP due the week before our pickup date. So it's due a week before. We go through, make sure there's no duplicates, because sometimes in that Google form, like the wife RSVP'd and the husband RSVP'd, and then they're getting 2 pies. 1 pie for family. That's the rule. Then what we do is we get those in. I had Christian at my office. He goes through and he will confirm an email. Thank you for your pie order. We got it. You've confirmed to pick up at the Grays Lake location. You're getting an apple pie. So that way they know that we've received their confirmation. And it's just nice to do. It's another touch point. Once again, it's a really well-run event. So then you have to also pick up the materials from the store. So here is this is another something I learned from a different realtor, is ribbon is expensive, right? So ribbon's expensive, but we want it we don't do anything halfway. We want to make our clients raving fans. So what we do is I take the pie. This is 1 yard of ribbon. So we buy 15 yards of ribbon. We rip them in 3 to 4 inch sections. And fabric, if you know, it rips straight. So you cut a little bit and then you can rip it and it'll always rip straight. Some people don't know that. So then you put it on the pie and you wrap it, you tie a knot. I'm gonna do it right now. It's gonna look great. So we have it here, it's tied around. And then we just duplicated our card. Sometimes we've done stickers on the pie. This just says Happy Thanksgiving. Grateful for clients like you with the Herring Homes team. Sometimes I've had the sponsors on here. I've stopped actually asking sponsors because I feel like it's better for me to ask them to sponsor different things. So I just put our name, we put them all on the pies with glue dots or tape, and the pies are ready. So that's everything you have to do in part 2. In the month leading up to it, you're gonna make sure you have your stickers, your cards printed out, your fabric from the store, and then finalize your pie count and think about how can I make sure my database knows about this. You cannot wait till 2 weeks before. People need to hear things over and over again before they feel like, oh yes, I have to do that. And even then, I order extra pies because clients will say, I missed the deadline. Here's the thing, when you're at Sam's or you're at Costco, there's 10,000 pies. So if someone comes in at the last minute, don't tell them no, just buy an extra pie. It's that easy. So what we also do is that when we go to Sam's and Costco the week before, we like to go in. I find when I call on the phone, I get transferred to different departments and it's very confusing. So we will go in, we'll go to the bakery, we explain what we're doing. Sometimes we can do it without the big label on top, which is nice. And then usually I pay for it up front. And then if I add on any extra pies, I just pay for that separately. I think it makes them feel good about it. Actually, Sam's changed their policy, so that's what's required this year, probably because some realtors didn't pick up their pies. So then you're all set and you're ready for the actual pie day. Okay, now it's the day of. You're ready to go. I'm so excited for you. You've gotten to this point. So let's say you have a list of 50 people or 100 people. So the first thing you're going to have to do is go pick up the pies. Here's my tip for that. I pick up the same day as my event. So if it's on a Tuesday, we go at 9:30 in the morning. I bring helpers because I have found these pies are so big and heavy. If you put them 3 high in the back of your car, they start to slosh around and they fall. So I like 2 high and we bring lots of cars. I I've had people bring, I've seen other realtors bring big, like moving trucks. I don't have one. In my office, I don't really have a place to do like a drive-through pickup. Some realtors do that. One, I'm in the Midwest, so standing outside in November, my team would quit. It sounds miserable. So what we do is I have a space with parking spots out front. I take my open house signs, and I had my husband, because we own a Signorama, shout out to Signorama, I had my husband make like the same size, and we just stick it on front of the open house sign. And what we do is we just reserve 2 parking spots in front of our building. It just says reserved for pie pickup, and then I list my office phone number, because I have clients of all ages. I have clients with new babies, I have clients who are older, and they don't really want to get out of their car. I get it. So they just call the number, we say, what's your name? We can see it on the caller ID, and we bring them their pie. So that's pretty easy. A lot of times our clients want to come into the office. We have it decorated for Christmas. They come into the office, and then we can hug their necks, and we have a good time picking up their pie, and we chit chat. Now in the past, I've had like charcuterie and wine, and we've had more of like a gathering. I'm kind of beyond that at this point. It's a long day, and we're really busy turning over pies, so they can stay as long as they want and chit chat, but I don't do food anymore. One thing I did think about is having Santa Claus come, because we've done a Santa photo event in the past. So I've thought about having like Santa Claus here from like 3 until 5 p.m. So if kids want to come in and see Santa, I thought that might be a good idea. So I may add that next year. We have a really good Santa. And so then so you could do the drive-through or an indoor location. If you're in a brokerage and you don't have your own office, I'm sure they will be fine for you to use one of the conference rooms for your clients to come in. Maybe you organize this for your entire office and every person does their own things. I just do it for my team because we have a lot of pies. Okay, here's the one secret that I've done this year, and I had such a good turnout. So when I sent out the invitations, I always collect toys for Toys for Tots, and we collect canned food or non-perishable food for the local food pantry. So this year I asked one of our partners, our attorney, and I said, would you sponsor like restaurant gift cards? So we have 3 $100 gift cards to local restaurants, and for every 5 cans of food they bring in, or 1 unwrapped toy for Toys for Tots, they got a ticket. We just kept track on the spreadsheet. So if they brought in a bag of food and it was 25 cans of food, they got 5 tickets. Then we added their names into a name picker like 5 times. So that's how we did it. We collected hundreds of cans of food. I mean, my whole table out there, I will put the video in. Probably 350 cans of food. We still have food trickling in from clients. And then we collected 3 full Toys for Tots boxes of unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots. So we haven't done that before. We've always asked them to bring in food or bring in toys, and they do. But this year, I think because there was a little incentive as a reward, it was the best year they've ever done. They were so generous with what they gave. So I think that's a way for you to really like give back during your client event, and a really nice way one of your sponsors can then sponsor like a local gift card to say thank you, and is an opportunity for a raffle for the people who bring in food and toys. So the day of the event, we held our event from 12 to 6 at one office, and then the secondary office where we had we had like 20 pies reserved, we held that from 3 to 5 p.m. So I actually had one of my agents, she ran down there, she covered it there, and then the rest of the team was here. You definitely need some helpers, especially if you have people running out to the reserved parking. You want to make sure everyone takes turns, and here's the secret to any good team leader: you need to feed your team. We had pizzas, we had salad, we had dessert, maybe I opened the pies before. So you can have, you want to feed your team because it's a long day. And in the past, we used to run it from 12 to 7, but we were kind of tired. So this year we did it from 12 to 6, and everyone but 3 people picked up their pies. So my office is closed the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So what I did, a lot of the agents, if there's a couple people who forgot a pie or they delivered them to their clients, another way to see them and hug them. I had maybe 3 or 4 that didn't. I just put them on my front porch at my house. Luckily, once again, I'm in the Midwest. It was freezing that week. And so they just came by to my personal home. I sent them the address, and then they picked up their pie. And then some of them even brought toys and food. So it was a nice win. I had more to bring back to the office. So what do you do with the extra pies? It happens every year. Someone forgets to pick it up. So what we do, if they can't get it or they're out of town, we just take the wrapped pies and we bring them to the fire department or the police station. They're not homemade, so I feel like they feel safe and they know who I am. I live in a town around 20,000 people or so it's not a far walk for us to go there. And to be honest, some of the women on my team don't mind going to either of those to drop off a pie because you know how it is with women and men in uniform. So they go down there and we bring the extra pies there. We don't trash any. So, and then sometimes one year I had I misordered. I ordered way too many pies. The neighborhoods that I farm, I put it in their private Facebook group. I'm like, hey, I have 5 extra pies at my office. Who wants them? Put your name down and then come here before 7 p.m. And then people reserved them and they came in, and I was able to get clients from that as well when they decided to sell because of that. So now you have the day's over. Oh, you're so tired. Go enjoy Thanksgiving with your family and then come back to this next week. So what you need to do first is we lined all the food up on tables. We had 3 full tables of all the cans of food, and then we did a thank you video, and then we pulled the names of the people who won those 3 $100 restaurant gift cards. We did the name picker, we pulled the names, we made a social media post on that. Yay, 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 they win. They've all picked up their gift cards. They're very happy because who doesn't like free food? So then we have all this food out. So then you get another social media post because you're now showing all this food. And then next week, we are going during our team meeting time to deliver it all to the township food pantry. So once again, I'm not doing it for this reason, but we're gonna have the camera rolling and show all the food that our clients so generously donated that can support the local community. So it's a great reason to do another Instagram reel, another post saying, look at all this food our clients, they're so awesome. Just for, we gave them a pie and they brought in all these food and toys. Same thing, when the Marines come to pick up the toys for Tots, it's a great photo op. We have 3 full boxes of toys. It's amazing. So take that photo op. I hate to say it's like the humble brag, but this is what social media is for, especially if you're a business owner. You cannot be a secret realtor. You just can't. You're not going to be successful. So it's okay to show what your clients gave and what you're doing to donate. It might be a coat drive. I mean, I could do that one year. It doesn't have to be food or toys for tots. You have to find what works for you and your team. Now it's also time to make a social media post. I did mine right after the event because that's the type of person I am. It's real easy for me to throw it in a reel or CapCut to do that. So I did a quick video. We took lots of pictures with our clients of the different agents on the team. So we put that in a quick Instagram reel, and that way it's just saying, hey, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. We loved being able to treat you and gift you a pie because you've been so good to us over the years. So if you didn't do that right after the pie event, make sure you do it the week after the pie event, for sure. And then if you had sponsors, write them a thank you card, have the team sign it. Thank you so much for sponsoring my team. Handwritten notes are never a bad thing. No one's going to complain. If you don't want to handwrite a note, then at least send a text message. Call them. Say, thank you so much. I could not do this without you. You want to make sure you publicize them, you thank them publicly, because then they're more likely to do it down the road. Nothing is worse is when you're sponsoring an event, and I know this as a realtor, and then nothing is ever publicized. So you give them hundreds of dollars, and then you're not on any signs, there's no social media posts, nothing. So part of why you sponsor things is to have that other company publicize you. So make sure you say thank you in that. So maybe the following week, you want to make your follow-up calls. You want to say thank you to everyone. You want to go through that Google spreadsheet now, that form where they indicated that they're thinking about moving next year, or maybe, or no, especially the yeses or maybes, and call them. Delight, hey, what's your plans? You thought you're going to move. Where are you moving to? That's one of my favorite questions to ask. Because are they staying in the area or are they moving out of the area? Can I find them a referral, a realtor referral? They're going to Florida. I have a list of people that I can call in Florida that I know are going to service them. You need to be part of that process throughout the entire conversation. You need to have that conversation with them so you're not left behind. So there you have it. That's how you run a really high-level pie event. You have to pre-plan, you got to send out postcards, you have to make sure you make the pies look beautiful, you have to reserve the pies, pick up the pies, have a really smooth day of event, have enough helpers. Even if you're a solo agent, you're going to have to wrangle in some other people to help you. It'll make the day run smoother. But it's a great way, because listen, I spent maybe $1,200, $1,500 on pies. One referral is going to pay for that pie event over and beyond, many times over. So it's a great way to give to your clients to say thank you for referring you over and over again. And it's fun. What an easy thing to do. And it's so great. This is why so many realtors do it. I know this was a lot to take in, especially if you're a new agent and you're like, oh, how do I start? I'll put a checklist available. So if you comment below, I will send you a checklist PDF for that. You can reach out to me at Instagram or YouTube at Jamie Herring, and then my website is realtorjamie.com, and there's a contact me button there. I'm happy to help you. I had other realtors help me when I was starting, and it's important for us to continue to help the next generation of realtors. So if you found this helpful, I'm going to say the same things every time: like and subscribe. And while I talk to sellers and buyers a lot, I have a lot of wisdom to share with other realtors because I want to see you succeed.